You know, I've technically already done this video, having a speedrun in my Elite Foreign Champion fact video, but now I think we should flesh this out. Today we're going over one fact about every Pokemon protagonist. These facts range from what I found the most interesting, the most unknown, or something I just think is kinda funny. I'll also mention which starter they're associated with the most. So let's get on to it. We of course start with the one and only Kanto Protagonist. At first, the Team Red hat at the end of Pokemon Origins may seem random, but this is actually what Satoshi Tajiri used to beat Gen 1 for playtesting. This team being Charizard, Scyther, Persian, Lapras, Jolteon, and Dodrio. As for his starter, Red is most associated with Venusaur or Charizard. Venusaur from original concept art, the manga, and Let's Go. And Charizard from Origins, Masters EX, and more modern art. Leaf's sync pair in Pokemon Masters is Eevee, which may be a reference to her special skill from the manga, which is the knowledge of Pokemon evolution. Leaf's starter is mostly seen as Blastoise or Venusaur. Blastoise from concept art and the manga, and Venusaur from Masters. Chase is portrayed in Masters as being very energetic and talkative. He's most often associated with Pikachu, but has been seen with Eevee as well. Opposite of Chase, Elaine's portrayal shows her to be very responsible, always having to deal with Chase's recklessness. Elaine is most often associated with Eevee, but like Chase, this isn't always the case. Now for the underappreciated Johto protagonist. Ethan is apparently camping buddies with a hiker, and is really good at finding his way around a forest. Ethan's starter is made very clearly to be Typhlosion, appearing with him in official art and Pokemon Masters. Ethan apparently also cooks food on Cyndaquil's back. We all know how Lyra came in and replaced Chris in the remakes. However, in the manga, Chris and Lyra are the same person, with Chris being forced to wear Lyra's outfit by her mother. Chris is most associated with Feraligatr like in Pokemon Masters. In Hard Gold and Soul Silver speedrunning, it's ideal to play as Lyra. The reason for this comes down to the catching tutorial, which the player character you aren't playing as will explain to you. And in this tutorial, Lyra will actually talk longer than Ethan does. As for Lyra's starter, she's most often associated with Meganium. Now for the 7.8 out of 10 Hoenn protagonist. According to Pokemon Masters, Brennan is the canon Hoenn protagonist, with him mentioning Norman being his dad while May's dad is Professor Birch. Brendan's starter is commonly seen as Sceptile, being seen with him in Masters, animated specials, and trailers. For some reason, May's team changes in her Emerald Rustboro battle, but only if you pick Torchic as your starter. In this one battle, May will have a Torkoal as her fire type. This Torkoal never appears again, as in future battles she'll have Slugma, just like she or Brendan would have in any other occasion. May has been associated with both Blaziken and Swampert, though the Swampert association mainly comes from an Orash trailer. Now for my turf, the Sinnoh and Hisui protagonists. Lucas is left-handed. Listen, I spent like half an hour trying to find a Lucas fact no one else used. Anyways, Lucas is mostly associated with Infernape. You may know about Dawn's BDSP team that references her anime team, just with a few members swapped out or evolved, but these teams are also very similar to her manga team. Dawn is most often associated with Empoleon or Torterra, coming from the anime/official art and Masters respectively. Rei is implied to be the canonical protagonist of Legends Arceus, as he's the one who is said to have arrived in Hisui through a space-time rift, but it's also showing that the LA protagonist has some level of amnesia. Rei is seen with Hisui and Decidueye in Masters and Samurott in official art. In Masters, Akari forms a sync pair with a Hisui and Samurott she caught. This is because sync moves are incompatible with Hisui and Pokeballs, and you can probably guess who I'd call her canonical starter. Bonus fact, it was theorized for some time if Rei/Akari were Lucas/John from BDSP, but thanks to Pokemon Masters, this has now been debunked. Neither Rei nor Akari recognize Lucas or Dawn when they meet. Now for the fabulous Unova protagonist. A popular fan theory is that Hilbert/Hilda were killed before the sequels, but it's more likely that they're just in another region looking for N, which is probably the same reason that Looker is in the sequels either. Hilbert is most often associated with Samurott, mainly seen in Masters, but interestingly his Masters Oshawott is actually the child of his starter. There's another thing that goes against the Hilbert/Hilda are dead theory, and it's that they originally were going to appear in the sequels, having cut content for a World Tournament appearance. Hilda is most associated with Embor, with official art and masters. In the manga, Nate is actually a member of the International Police, even having a higher position than Looker somehow. Nate has been associated with either Embor or Samurott. Embor from Black 2 White 2 trailers and Samurott from his manga starter. Opposite of Nate, Rosa used to be a Team Plasma member in the manga. The reason she and her mom are in Aspertia City is they're in hiding. Rosa's starter is definitely superior from the trailers, masters, and art. And as a bonus fact, Nate and Rosa have the most spoken lines of any Pokemon protagonist, all thanks to the PokeStar Studios. Now for the underrated Kalos Protagonist. Pikachu's alt trophy in Smash Bros 3DS wears Kalem's hat. Kalem and Serena even have their own trophy in Smash Bros 3DS, but not Smash Bros Wii U, oddly enough. Kalem's starter is seen to be Chestnut thanks to Pokemon Generations, but he's also been associated with Greninja. And for the Kanto starter, he's seen with Charizard in Pokemon Generations. Serena was given a bigger focus in the concept art for X and Y protagonists. While both were given fully colored designs, only Serena has extra references and the commentary is mainly about her. They knew right away which of these two were gonna be more popular. Like with Rosa being synonymous with superior, Serena is almost always associated with Delphox, thanks in no small part to the anime and masters enabling this thinking. And I haven't been able to find what Kalos starter she'd be associated with. Now for the tropical Alola protagonist. In a poster for the Rainbow Rocket episode, Elio is given a full team, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is only the second time a protagonist was given a full team, with Red being the first instance a protagonist was given a canon team. The team Elio was given is Incineroar, Toucannon, Alolan Raichu and Ninetales, Lycanroc, and Serena. A pretty neat team if you ask me, though aside from Incineroar, Elio is associated with Primarina and Masters. Selene's name is of Greek origin, meaning the moon, with there even being a Greek goddess of the moon named Selene, and with Elio's name believed to be from Helios, the Greek god of the sun. This would mean that Elio is the protagonist of Sun and Ultra Sun, while Selene is the protagonist of Moon and Ultra Moon. Selene is most associated with Decidueye, mainly coming from Masters. There's even this art of her battling Kukui Snorlax with Decidueye. And for a bonus fact regarding Elio and Selene, Pokemon Masters made their blank stares in the game's canon, with the reason being that they're thinking way too hard of how to respond, which is pretty funny. Now for the sporty Galar protagonist. Victor is canonically a really great cook as seen in Pokemon Masters, and growing up he would apparently lie on a Wooloo's back to get his ideas. Victor has been mostly associated with Rillaboom thanks to Masters, but early Sword and Shield art does depict him with Scorbunny. Contrary to the famous and well-liked Scottish Pokegirl memes, Gloria actually has an English accent in Pokemon Masters. Just hear for yourself.
See this bag? It's the very same one my mum used back in the day.
But like, Gloria will always be a sassy Scottish waifu in our hearts. For the starter Gloria is most associated with, it's pretty unclear. She can have either Cinderace or Inteleon in Pokemon Masters. Gloria does wear her gym uniform when paired with Cinderace, and Scorbunny is also her manga starter, but she's also depicted with Sobble in her Pokemon Center poster, and this art of her going against Milo. So I guess it's up to you on what you think is more canon. Now finally for the shiny new Paldea Protagonists. Florian and Juliana are the canon names of the Scarlet and Violet protagonists. Yeah, sorry, even after all of this time, that's still the best I got. Though I guess there is some stuff I can pull out me butt. Florian and Juliana are originally from Galar, the first Pokemon protagonist whose looks can be changed at the start, and I don't know, they're probably bi or something. With how every other rival is thirsting over them, they might as well be. Anyways, for the starter they're most associated with, it's still unclear. I wasn't able to see for sure which starter their manga counterparts chose. They've yet to make an appearance in Masters, and Scarlet and Violet promotional art tends to show them with all three starters. Though we see Florian with Fuecoco in this art of them against Grusha, bold move to take on the 8th gym first, and Juliana has Sprigatito in this art of her and Arven against Claw. So I guess that means that that the canon starters are Skeledirge for Florian and Meowscarada for Juliana. And for one last bonus round, the manga protagonists whose counterparts we didn't talk about. In the manga, main characters are known as Pokédex holders, and are defined by having, you guessed it, a Pokédex. Blue has the special skill of Pokémon training, meaning he's able to train his Pokémon more efficiently. In the manga, Blue's Kanto starter is Charizard. Yellow has special powers from being born in Viridian Forest. These powers include healing Pokémon, reading their minds, moving objects with her mind, and being able to power up her Pokémon in times of need. And as you'd probably guess, Yellow's Kanto starter is Pikachu. Silver's special skill is Pokémon trading. Most notably, he helped Blue and Gold evolve their Pokémon. Silver's Johto starter in the manga is Feraligatr. Emerald's special skill is calming down Pokémon, and his Hoenn starter is Sceptile. Finally is Pearl. His skill is knowing what move a Pokémon is going to use, giving him future vision in a sense. As for his starter, Pearl's Sinnoh starter in the manga is Infernape. And there you have it, folks. One fact about every Pokemon protagonist. I hope you learned at least one new thing about these great characters, and hopefully you thought these facts were interesting. What else could I go over? I'm thinking of saving Evo Team facts for October, so is there another category you want to learn more about in the meantime? Let me know in the comments below, and become a member if you're interested. It's only $2 a month. Have a nice day, you wonderful people.
I thought you were dead.
My death was greatly exaggerated.